This is the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
I'm not making any money talking these days. Good Christ. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Still am. I guess I am a decent guy because I'm a fucking jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Apparently I'm a dick. I'm not an awful guy, but I've done so much ridiculous stuff. I'm an awful guy. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. My voice is a little shredded today, folks. I apologize. Singing the entire Pearl Jam catalog last night has gone ahead and turned my throat to spaghetti. I wasn't at the show. I was in my car, but I just drove around Los Angeles screaming, "Oh, I am alive!" Yeah. Don't force me to do my Eddie Vedder, folks, because you will be stunned by it. You will say, "Oh my Christ, he sounds just like him." Why couldn't we have been following his car last night as he was singing at the top of his lungs and his fake Vedder was bursting out of his windows? We went to Pearl Jam last night, my wife and I, and that was great for my wife who heard one song she knew. We're still not talking. It was an awkward concert. No, I'm teasing. We are talking again. My wife and I. Things have changed. They've done a 180, folks. Turns out I didn't win. I guess I still won, but now I've won her heart. That's what I won, folks, apparently. Yes, sure. And I'm sure you're thinking to yourselves, well, what did Mike do to extricate himself from the jaws of his wife's hatred? Well, here's what I did, folks. I didn't talk. I let things lie. I didn't talk at all. And I let her come to me. That was the deal. It's like when you've this will sound like a horrible analogy. So much so I'm not even going to do it. So never mind. No, I can't. It's like when you get a new dog and you want to be friends with it. You can't make it be your friend. You can't just like dive on it and be like, "Ha ha, I love you, dog," and give it noogies and then roll around with it. You got to just keep your distance and let the dog get used to its surroundings. And then eventually the dog comes over and smells your hand, and then you guys are going to Pearl Jam. I mean, that's how it works. It works out fine. So what happened with my wife is I just kind of let her be. I let her do her thing and kind of stay extricated from me. And then within a day or two, I don't want to say, well, it was a day and a half, whatever, of silence. Finally, she came to me and was like, "Oh, well, you want to go get some dinner?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So we went to dinner, and then she started to kind of tell me what was going on. It wasn't my fault. Again, it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. What brought it on? What brought it on was work stuff, but then, that all rolls downhill and becomes a huge boulder, and then it crashes into me. So I wound up getting smashed. But then my wife went and did her yard sale. She went ahead and did that, and she made a tidy $37, I think. I can only imagine what kind of a bounty she would have brought home if she would have sold the camping equipment. But unfortunately, it never got out of the storage area. So I don't know why. I seriously, I really don't know why. I was ready. I had a hazmat suit on. I was ready to fight any mouse or anything that would leap out of the storage unit. But she told me that it was not necessary. So she made her signs, and she sold her silverware, and she sold some purses. And that pissed me off, quite frankly, that she sold purses, because my wife's a purse person. Lily's not a purse person. So much so that my wife last week, by the way, Lily's here. Hi, Lily.
Hi, Lily.
Okay, so Lily is here, and she's not doing well. She had a rough day at the doctor today, I found out, and you can too if you go to her blog. Because apparently she decided to go all Michael Moore and fly to Cuba and talk to Castro and then write a goddamn movie and post it on her fucking Facebook page about what's wrong with healthcare today. She's reeling in Obama to try to get healthcare passed so she can finally walk again. Folks, everybody I know is falling apart. I don't fucking get it. My brother's got a bad wheel. Lily's got a bad wheel. I had a bad wheel, which I'll get to later. That'll be interesting to talk about. What was I talking about before we get into you? Purses. Lily's not a purse person because here's the thing. My wife bought Lily a purse. She bought it for a show. Like, I guess it was, for the Monday Night Teas. My wife wound up sitting in once. They did a laugh-in show, and my wife did the role of Ruth Buzzy. And she had like a purple purse that was kind of a floppy purse, and she hit the Artie Johnson character with it. And then it was a gift to Lily, that she was going to give Lily. And then it turns out Lily, I see my wife carrying the purse this weekend, and I go, "Wow, that's a nice purse, purple. Where'd you get that?" She goes, "I bought it for Lily," and Lily didn't want it. I said, what do you mean? She goes, yeah, Lily gave it back to me. Said she didn't want it. I'm like, she gave it back to you? And she's like, yeah, I got it for her and told her it was hers. And she's like, nah, you know what? I don't need it. So I don't know if that was just Lily going, she doesn't like gifts or she doesn't like my wife. I have no idea. Or it was just, but I've determined that Lily's more of she's a shoe person. Because there's, ladies they can be shoe people or they can be purse people. Or they can be math people. I'm not saying women can't do math. Back off. I don't fucking need you people calling me and giving me a hard time, okay? Yes, women can do math even if they like purses and makeup and heels. All right. Good Lord. Go ahead. Yeah, women, yes, all the time. They can do quadratic equations and chiz and bop. Women know all about that stuff, by all means. By the way, it's my favorite Hanson song in the world, Chiz and Bop. All right, so. Oh, chiz and bop, bop, bop. All right, so. Look it up, folks. Wikipedia. So so my wife, she went to her yard sale. Everything was fine. But here's what I did. That fight occurred last Wednesday, as you know. And then Thursday, it turned out that David Letterman had been having sex with people he worked with. And I immediately went, look, I'm not that bad a guy. Check this out. Things could be much worse. And I'm sure my wife probably would have. I just like left it up on the computer so she could read about it because she likes news. But at the same time, it was almost like, look, I could be doing horrible things like this. I mean, you don't want to. You could wheel on me if I did that. But look, I'm just a guy who wouldn't carry something out of the storage unit. I'm not banging my underlings. But quite frankly, my wife could have just said, well, you know what? If you had a job, maybe you would be doing that sort of thing. And which would be a great line. God, I almost wish my wife said it because that would be a fantastic line. But while we're here, okay, can we leave Letterman alone? Is that possible? Can we just back the fuck off? I hear all these people like, oh, he's a hypocrite. He makes fun of politicians who do the same thing. Yes, that's politicians who do the same thing. People who have to go ahead and make laws and come out and they can legislate against that sort of thing. And then they come out and it turns out, oh, by the way, I've been sticking my dick in a hole in a wall for weeks. Really? All right. Well, I didn't realize it about you. Hey, by the way, I was rimming pages. Oh, good. That's good news. I wish you would have told me that before we put you on the appropriations committee, you hump. But I just think people that are losing their minds, I don't understand morality or lack of, or I don't get it. If it doesn't do anything to you, if it doesn't bother you or affect your life in any way, what the fuck do you care? Vote with your remote. You don't want to watch him? Don't fucking watch him. That's it. That's the bottom line. I don't understand these people who are saying he should be fired, he should be this, he should be fired. Why should he be fired? If anything, he's hysterical now when you watch the show because all he does, it's so uncomfortable to watch him be because he makes fun of himself and savages himself. I mean, come on, that guy's a never-ending pit of self-loathing anyway. How far do you think he's going to dive down into it now? It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be great television. The only people who should care about this are his wife and his kid. And quite frankly, I don't think Harry should care about it because what is he, 3? What the fuck did he care? He should be happy. He's got a bunch of hot aunts. You know what I mean? He should be happy about that. But the wife, the woman he's been with for 20 years, she needs to be, but they got to hash it out on their own. That's their own deal. You know what I mean? And who knows? Maybe they had an arrangement. I always tell Karen when I get rich, I'm going to bang everything that moves. And she's like, okay. Probably because she knows I'm never going to be rich. But who cares? I think it's good to know that I always say to her, I go, oh, that'll be fine, right? And she's like, yeah, that'll be fine. All right. That'll be fine. I say those things to my wife, and I think she thinks I'm kidding. I don't know if she thinks I'm kidding or not, but man, when I get rich, Jesus Christ, I am going to lay pipe from fucking one coast to the other. It's going to be retarded. It's going to be, you ever see like on when a whale is swimming and it has barnacles on it? It's going to be me with chicks. I'm going to be walking around with just chicks hanging off my jock and my fucking arms. I don't care. I'm going to be walking around with just fucking nonstop pussy stuck to me like a refrigerator magnets. It's going to be awesome. God damn it, I got to get rich quick. Because I got the plan. It's going to happen. It's like when, like I said, on a ship's hull, when you see things clinging to it. Yep, that's me. I'm in. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just going to be fucking all the way from one coast to the other. All right, so. Again, I say these things and I think she thinks I'm joking. We'll see. That'll come out in the wash. Again, she fully doesn't. She thinks I'm not getting rich, and I can't blame her because I'm sitting here with a stripper talking into nobody. So, but I say stuff to my wife like, all right, I went with my wife the other day. We went to breakfast. My wife and I now have a standing breakfast on a Sunday morning, which is fun. That's kind of neat. We found a place by our house that's kind of cool. And the thing is, I get home, early from the graveyard thing. So I'm up. I mean, I'm ready to rock. And then I patiently wait for her to get out of bed. It's like when I was a little kid and it was Christmas. I would wake up. at 4:30, and then we had to wait for my mom to get up before we go and open the presents. So that's what I got to do with my wife. I come home and I sit there quietly, patiently, and I wait for her to wake up so I can go have eggs. So I guess that's more like Easter. I'm waiting for her to get up. So we go to this breakfast joint, and I will tell you, we went there 2 weeks ago. We've been going there for about a month. And it's so I will tell you this: my wife and I have decided we've learned how to order at this place because we used to. Folks, it's no secret. I'm a fat man, and so I still order with my brain rather than with my stomach because I had a surgical procedure that won't allow me to eat what I used to eat. But it doesn't matter because my brain still goes, "Hey, order like a fat boy." So I get there, and it's like literally, I would get 2 eggs with hash browns. And look, I know that alone right there isn't healthy. Okay, I get that. But then we would get like biscuits and gravy and a muffin and a bagel with cream cheese. And my wife would get like, her eggs and then their side. I mean, like, breakfast. Basically defibrillator food. You know what I mean? The kind of food where some guy in a lab coat has to yell clear after you eat it. Like that kind of crazy dish. But over the course of the weeks, we're realizing, because, there would be all this food left that we didn't eat because I would order this ridiculous amount of food, and then we couldn't eat it. So we're learning how to order. So 2 weeks ago, we show up. We're waiting to sit down because it's a busy joint, and out of the back room comes a breakfast goddess. I mean, it was a waitress she's the hottest waitress I've ever seen in a food place. Okay, I've seen hot waitresses and cocktail waitresses and all that kind of stuff, but this chick walked out, and I you know why she was so hot too? Because she was completely unpretentious about it and not. I mean, I knew she knew because I looked at Karen and I go, and all right, we're both sitting there, and this girl, all right, she walks out of the back, really tight jeans and a plain white T-shirt. Okay. And but a white T-shirt, and underneath she had a frilly bra that you could see through the white T-shirt. And it was, I don't know if it wasn't really a push-up. How do I explain this? She had big tits, but the bra was kind of, and she's young, so they were like kind of still, they were right around chin level. You know what I mean? They were fucking amazing. And she had them, they were squished, and that breast cleavage kind of overflow, the spillage, the Exxon Valdez of breast that comes out of the top of the bra. It was so prodigious that it was actually poking out of the shirt. Like her boobs were there, and it was actually still like a second continental shelf that she was bringing to the table. I mean, it was she would walk and they would sway. Oh my God, is there anything better? Seriously, other than a woman standing with her feet together and the little space at the top of her thighs. Other than that, is there anything better than swaying breasts when a woman walks? All right, so I see this girl. She walks out of the back, and she may as well have been Phoebe Cates in a red bikini. I mean, Jesus Christ, because I heard the cars. She comes walking out of the back, and it's like, hey, Michael, I know how you like your eggs. Bomb, 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 ba-dum, bomb. I'm like staring, and I'm going, all right, I got to go Reinhold in the bathroom. That's what I got to do right now. I got to go fucking run off a Reinhold with a pirate hat on right in the goddamn bathroom because, Jesus Christ, this chick walked out and was working it. I mean, it was... But also, hair in a ponytail, no makeup, gorgeous face. Oh, my Christ. Oh, man, was she hot. So we're sitting there, and I'm trying not to, go text Avery Wolf on the entire fucking restaurant and start banging myself in the head with a shoe. You know what I mean? It's like, whoo, God, boom, 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 my eyes pop out. So we're sitting there. And Karen's on my left, and this girl walks out of the back, and I actually, you know what I did, sadly? I sat up. Like, I was like kind of slumped, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second, business just picked up. I gotta, like, it was almost like when you're in the dean's office and you're like, slumped, and the dean comes in, you're like, yes, ma'am, and you sit, like, completely straight up. That's what I did when this chick walked out, because it was literally, there should have been heavenly trumpets. I mean, oh my God, was she fucking hot. Walks out swaying pendulous breasts. Good Christ. I almost ordered them. That's how distracted I was. I sat down, I almost went biscuits and pendulous breasts. I'll take those. Actually, check that. Hold the biscuits. Just throw gravy on the pendulous breasts. That's what I'm going to get. So we're sitting on the bench. Karen's right next to me, and this girl's fucking va-va-vooms out of the back. And I go, that girl knows how to get the tips. And Karen, not really listening to me, looks at me and goes, how could you say that out loud? She thought I said, look at the girl's tits, like in the middle of the breakfast rush. Like... And I said, no. I said, I know she knows how to get tips. And she's like, oh, okay, tips. I go, yeah, so you know what? I go, man, you got a dirty mind. Ha ha ha. In the meantime, I'm ass fucking this girl over a grill in my brain. So Karen and I are just sitting there, and you know what? And I should tell you about this restaurant. All right, the reason we're waiting for a table, again, the place is busy. Okay, but when you walk in the door, on the left-hand side of the restaurant, it's all booths. Okay, there's a bunch of booths, and we like to sit in the booths. And on the that's in the middle of the restaurant. On the far left is all tables. And I don't want to sit by the tables. I'm not a table guy. And on the far right is another section that's kind of tables and booths, but they're only half booths. So we're waiting for a booth because we walk in and the entire right-hand side of the restaurant is empty. And the guy says, hey, you guys can sit in there. And we said, no, we're good. So we actually let some people go ahead of us because we wanted to sit in the booths in the middle. So this woman comes bouncing out of the back, and the guy comes up and says, hey, your booth is ready. And Karen goes, okay, let's sit down. And I go, wait a minute, where's the booth? And he goes, oh, it's right here. And I said, well, I go, hon, why don't we sit on this side of the restaurant? Now, mind you, we spent 20 minutes waiting for a booth in the middle of the restaurant. The entire right side is empty. Now, because she's working over there, I want to get a table. Like, I couldn't. And Karen just goes, no, I think we'll go ahead and sit in the middle. And I go, you sure? I go, because there's, there's plenty of tables over here. And the guy goes, your booth is ready. You've been waiting. So I go, all right. So we go and sit down. And again, like I said, my wife thinks I'm kidding, but my wife also tolerates this because I have a wandering eye a little bit, but not like but let's put it this way. My head will turn, but my feet won't move. Does that make any sense to you folks? Like literally, because I'm with my wife and that's it. I love my wife and that's it. But I always tell her, and this is what I've told her this since we started dating, because I'm a guy who's, I'll turn my head. But I tell my wife, I go, it's like art. I go, it's like you're in a museum and you're looking at art. That's all it is. I mean, as long as you don't go to the curator of the museum and try to buy a fucking painting, you're going to be okay. And, folks, she bought it. Anyway, so, but in reality, that's true. I mean, I love my wife and I'm not looking to go anywhere. But at the same time, how could you not watch something walk by? How can you not watch a woman? Oh, my Christ. And the same to her. You know what? Because we went and saw Pearl Jam. Last night she got her binoculars on. She's like, Eddie's not wearing underwear tonight. And puts her binoculars right back up to her eyes. I'm like, well, great. Enjoy Eddie Vedder's cock while I know all the lyrics to all the songs. I'm glad you found something to like at this show. And then she goes to their website and she's like, look at this picture. See, you can see he's not wearing any. I'm like, okay, I don't need the Zapruder film of Eddie Vedder's balls. So it works both ways, folks. And I don't mind, that's fine. Because again, you'd be dead if you weren't looking at a girl or a guy who walked by who was incredibly hot. Because and I told you my wife is, but here's the thing. And again, I have no game. I don't pretend that I have game. I used to have game, sort of, I guess. But now, no, not even close. But my wife, I don't think my wife ever had game. Because again, I'm the first guy she's ever met and been with. So she dated before, but nothing ever serious until I showed up. So now, whenever any guy will turn on the charm with her or flirt with her, oh my God, my wife goes to pieces. It's hysterical to watch. I've talked about it before, where she'll just be like, like just start giggling, like looking around and like twisting her hair, and I'm like, oh Jesus, okay, we're not at the Sadie Hawkins dance. I mean, seriously. Scale it down. We don't need your pheromones to cloud up the windshield. So this waitress, we're sitting in the booth. We're at our booth, and every time she walks by, I watch her, like to the point where I won't lie to you folks. Again, I've glanced before, or you'll look. This is creepy. I'm creepy. I became creepy. Like I could probably tell you what I know that I know what size her jeans were. All right, let's put it that way. That will tell you. Because I could read the Levi's thing when she would walk by. I mean, like, I was looking at that, and then I would watch her breasts just sway when she would walk. And, I mean, anybody who was watching me must have thought I was watching a tennis match. Because she would walk through the room, and then she'd walk back to the kitchen. Then she'd walk through, and I watched her every time, and I vapor locked, I tractor beamed on her breasts because they would just sway, and then that cleavage overhaul, and the white T-shirt, and I kept waiting for her nipples to get hard as she walked. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was amazing. But Karen kept looking at me, like I would do it. I would watch her walk, and my head would go vroom, and I would look, and Karen would just be looking at me like with a face like, really, seriously, you're gonna track. I mean, you're gonna get arrested for stalking in a restaurant, for Christ's sake. And I'd go, what? Come on, haha, we're all having fun. Let's have some eggs. So that happened 2 weeks ago. So then we went this past Sunday. And this is coming off of You Win, Michael, You Win. So you would think I'd be a little more careful. But instead, we get in, and she's not working. So I'm off the hook. So that's fine. I don't have to worry about it. So I go, all right, we'll wait for our booth. So we wait for the booth in the middle, and then we sit down in the middle, and sure enough, the trumpets blare, the clouds part. Some old man with a staff parts the Red Sea, and then here she comes, just walking out of the back. Boom, ksh, boom, ksh, boom. Hi, Michael. I know how you like your eggs. Oh, Christ. Phoebe Cates of breakfast. So I said, fuck it. I got to run off a Reinhold. I have to run off a Reinhold. So I see her, and again, I start watching. Again, I can't stop looking at this girl because she, fresh-faced and, like, cute and young and, like, wearing, like, again, same thing, same outfit, jeans and a T-shirt and just, oh, my Christ, just fucking hot. And she's walking by, and I'm looking, and I'm watching, and we order our breakfast, and we're eating, and Karen's just giving me grief about it. She's just like, seriously, you can't do this. And I'm like, come on, what are you saying? I go, you're saying, I go, seriously, you're saying that you wouldn't have sex with this girl? Come on. Like, I don't know why I put that in her lap, but apparently I did. And she's like, shut up. Why are you saying this kind of thing? I go, see, this is the thing. This is, if I was rich, this wouldn't even be an issue. If I was rich, I would walk up to her and I go, seriously, quit this job. You're coming home with us. And then we'll do all sorts of stuff. And she's like, why would you tell me that? And I go, come on, you're on board with this. She goes, I'm not on board with this. So again, I think she thinks I'm kidding, but when I get rich, we'll test it. We're going right to breakfast. The second I win the lottery, and I'm going to get 2 eggs and hash browns and a bagel and a side of the hot chick. That's exactly what I'm going to get. You know what? Hold the breakfast. Give me a full plate of the hot chick. You know what? Seriously, I would buy the restaurant and just make her get up on the table, and I would go down on her. Like that's what I would order. That would be it. Oh, I'm sure that sounds terrible to you folks. All right. So then I start telling Karen, I go, come on. I go, we would bring her home, and I go, and she's like, when are you going to bring her home? And I go, but you're involved. It's like a 3-way thing with the 3 of us. I go, and that'll be, I go, you're calling all the shots on this. And she's like, well, if I'm calling the shots, you're the one who just said she's coming home with us. I said, no, but once we got her home, then you would be the one to kind of, you could put on the fucking black and white striped shirt and get a whistle and a hat and start throwing a flag and calling offsetting penalties on everybody. Let's go. You're running the show here. Put the headset on and you start ordering us around. And she's like, well, what would you, so then my wife, I will tell you, she can be a little curious sometimes. So my wife's like, well, what would you do? Like, what would you, like, so she wanted, like, the machinations of a 3-way. And I'm the wrong guy to ask because, again, I have a never-ending waitress Kama Sutra going through my head at this moment. So I'm like, oh, we'd do a downward dog with a goddamn wheelbarrow. What are you talking about? We'd bust out an Asian cartwheel, me, you, and this chick. Are you serious? So I start telling my wife what we're going to do. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we would do this. And I'll spare you folks because, again, it's my wife. But I'm like, we would do this, and you would be here, and she would be here, and I would be doing this. And then we would do this, and she would be here, and I would be here, and you'd be doing that. I go, then the 2 of you would be doing this while I'd be over here doing this. And so I'm telling her, and again, we're at breakfast. We're eating breakfast. There's people around us, children. And I'm going through the litany of poses that we would be in. Literally, I might as well make my own Kama Sutra on the goddamn breakfast placemat. I might as well just draw it out. If I had any sort of artistic talent at all, I would have drawn a bunch of people going at it, like stick figures, and there would have been, like, it would have been like when you draw a house and you have the little, inches and the little side thing on the, for scale. I would have drawn them to scale, like, well, it's tiny, and then your head is here, and her ankle's up by my ear, and then we're going to do this. So I'm explaining it to her, and my wife says, she says, because I told her, I had a certain position that I told her we would do. And she goes, what do you call that? And I think she thought, like, that it had a position name, like, when you say missionary or, doggy or, anything like that. So she was kind of, like, interested, but she was also like, what would you call that? And I go, I call it Christmas fucking morning. That's what I call that. And she goes, no, I mean, like, does it have a title? I go, fuck it. I can't say anything more. That was the funniest thing I've ever said. I call it Christmas fucking morning. Me, you, and a waitress tied up in a goddamn naked pretzel. Let's do this.
Hi, this is Mike Toomey, and you're listening to the 40-Year-Old Boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. One question, what the hell is a podcast? I'm in the entertainment business, so honestly, I have no idea.
Hello, I'm Mike Schmidt from the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. A lot of people listen to my show and say, Mike, you've lived a life that we wish we could live. We'd like to learn how to be like you. Well, now at Mike Schmidt's Online University, you too can take classes to find out how to live like the 40-year-old boy. Classes like how to win friends, get older, then lose friends. How to inexplicably keep a wife. And how to trick a stripper into laughing. So go to Mike Schmidt Online University to take classes and learn how you too can be like Mike Schmidt, the 40-year-old boy. Thank you.
So I don't know if we're going back for breakfast on Sunday. I think we will. It's a standing breakfast. I don't know if I'll ever get to sit on the right-hand side of the restaurant, I guess is my point. I don't know how that's going to work. And then we were there, and a guy walked in, a patron. He walked in, and he had barbells in his back. You know what I'm talking about? Like piercings right around his spine. Like I don't know, the base of his neck down his back. He had like 8 barbells through his skin. And I looked at him, and Karen and I looked at each other and just made eye contact, and she goes, "What's that for?" And I said, "Not for anything good. Believe me, I'm sure that can't be for anything good. That means the guy, I don't know, it's either a medical thing or he wants to be strung up like a man called horse when he has sex. I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's great. I just know that even if I did that, even as a fashion statement, all I would do is rip my shirts because I would forget they were in there. That's all I'd hang my shirt down. Oh, Christ. Once again, my lifestyle has destroyed my clothing options. All right. I'd have to wear a lot of open back shirts. Not that I don't now, folks. I wear quite a few. Sometimes I'll just wear a dickie. I'll walk around wearing a dickie, and that looks great. And that'll get a waitress's eye. That'll catch her eye. So here's how did I even get into this? So suffice it to say, I still won. We're okay. Everything's fine. That was Friday. That was Sunday, because here's what I did last week, folks. Again, the Letterman thing hit the fan on Thursday, and then Friday I was at a store. I'll explain why a little later. But I was in Nordstrom's, and my wife is a fragrance person as well as a purse person, and my wife's also a shoe person. And yes, she does math. Okay, shut up. But she likes fragrances, and she likes certain kinds of fragrances. There's one that she really loves called Flower Bomb. And she's been kind of pushing for it, and she, I get it, sometimes at Christmas I'll get it for it. It's, she really loves it. But the thing is, we just recently, like I said, I got the Pearl Jam tickets for her birthday, and then we went to dinner for her birthday, and then she got that wine she bought from Maynard for $150. I'm like, dude, we got to slow down a little bit. And also, save something for your Christmas list, Flower Bomb, you know what I mean? But I was in Nordstrom's, and my wife works her ass off, man. She works really hard, and so here's what I did. I went to the perfume counter at Nordstrom's. And I had to search it out. I had to ask like 9 women, and then I wind up in the fragrance department. And I said, I walk up. You know what? I started a perfume fight, like a perfume gang fight, because if you go to those places, again, I don't know if they work on commission or they don't work on commission, but it is like they come at you like the Night of the Living Dead zombies. But I'm sure they smell much better because they come approaching you with those little misters and a vaporizer and all sorts of fucking atomizer, whatever the fuck they call it. And when a guy walks in there, they immediately go for him because they figure they're going to trick him into buying all sorts of ridiculous shit. They just figure a guy's just going to go Calvin Klein and then hand you a credit card, and then they're going to fucking put a billion things on it. But I knew what I was looking for. So I walked in, and we're about to get into how shallow I am, folks. I walked into the perfume department, and I was ready. I was armed for battle. I had my fists up. I kept my right hand high in case someone came with a left-hand vaporizer, and I was ready for the leg kick. I was going to sweep somebody. I was ready to do it. I was ready to fight, get my flower bomb, and get the fuck out of there. And I walked in, and there were 3 women standing there. And there was a young hot girl, and then there was like kind of a medium lady who was dressed elegantly, but she was a little older. And then there was an old crone, like just this really older woman, and who was also elegant and dressed nice, but very old. Right when I walked up, for some reason, the middle, mama bear ran away. Like, there's baby bear, papa bear, and mama bear. The middle woman, the woman who was around my age but elegantly dressed, took off. Like, she wanted nothing to do with me. Because, again, I'm sweaty, and I'm in shorts and a T-shirt, and you'll find out why I was sweaty later. But, I mean, I'm a fucking mess. I mean, my hair's all messed up. I got a sweaty shirt on. I look like I played a fucking 4 hours of basketball and then said, hey, I got to go get some perfume. I mean, it was retarded. So, I walked up, and that woman ran away. So I've got older lady, or I've got really old lady, and essentially here's what I have to choose from. I have Snow White, and I have the crone who brought the apple that put her to sleep. That's who I've got to choose from to buy my perfume. And I walked up, and they both go, "Hello, sir. Is there anything you're looking for? Can we help you?" And I swear to God, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't want to do it. But I looked up, I made eye contact with the crone, and immediately went, "Flower bomb," to the hot chick on the left. Like I looked at the crone right in the face, and I immediately turned. The only thing that could have been worse is if I would have gone, "Ah, flower bomb, young woman, help me, please, save me," or if I had like tackled the old woman and put a stake through her heart. Like literally, because that must have been what the look that I gave her was like. Because again, she's just wearing out her golden years trying to sell some flavored water to people. That's all she's doing. Water that smells good, eau de toilette, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that's what she's doing. Her twilight years are being spent peddling perfume to the masses, and I gave her a look as if I had stepped in gum. I mean, it could not have been more blatant or obvious who I wanted to talk to. So I looked up, and and you know what's funny? If I had to choose between waitresses, and I walked into a place, and wasn't worried about, fucking wrapping around my head, and I just wanted waitress, I would have gone with the older, like, seasoned, Rosie, waitress with the bounty paper towels. That's who I'd go with. But in this instance, with the perfumes, I walked in, looked at the crone right in the face, and went, flower bomb, right to the hot chick, like, completely. And you just saw her tiny shoulders slump just a little bit more than they already were, and she's fucking shuffled off with her tiny steps and her elegant heels that her feet barely fit into, that I'm sure she has jammed some sort of paper towel into the toe of because she doesn't fit in them any longer, and she's got a bag with cat food in it to eat for lunch. Oh my Christ, I felt awful. So I look and I go, "Flower bomb," and the woman goes, "Oh, it's right over here," and the hot chick takes me, and I follow closely behind her, but not too closely because again I reek and there's a reason. But we get over to the flower bomb station, and there's like a little tiny one, and then there's a big one that looks like a globe. Okay, and she's like, "All right, well, which one? We got a couple ones right here. We got a smaller one, which is a tester." And I go, "No, just give me the big one, and that's fine." She goes, "Great. Do you want it wrapped up?" I said, "Of course I do." So she takes it and gets it wrapped up. And again, folks, the big one is $100. But you know what? I got that kind of dough. I really don't. But who cares? I go, "That's fine. Grab it and wrap it up." So she takes the flower bomb and she starts to wrap it up. And in the meantime, the crone has reapproached. Like she's like within arm's length of us, and she goes, "Is there anything else I can help you find?" "Oh no, you're trying to steal me from hot chick?" I'm like, "Right." And I'm not kidding you. I don't even get to say a word. The hot chick wheels on her and goes, "I'm taking care of this, Eleanor." Just like right in her face. "I'm taking care of this, Eleanor." And Eleanor just makes a sad face and slumps her shoulders just a little bit more and shuffles off to the side to slowly count the minutes till she dies. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't believe perfume fight just broke out while I'm standing right here. And it wouldn't have been much of a fight because honestly, the hot chick was in good shape and she would have snapped Eleanor in fucking half. But Eleanor I just felt so bad for her. You just saw another piece of her soul extinguished when she was yelled at by the 22-year-old who's wrapping up my flower bomb. Oh, it was awful. But also at the same time, it didn't stop me from having the hot chick help me. Certainly it didn't. As the two of us took turns playing fucking high-lie with Eleanor's soul, bashing it off of the fucking wall. We're not good people. And I include the hot chick from Nordstrom's in this, quite frankly. She's not good people either, God damn it. Even if she is doing a nice job of wrapping up my flower bomb. So she wraps up my flower bomb, then she rings it up. And, hey, folks, remember when I said it was $100? It's not. It's a little more than that. And I wasn't prepared for that. I was like, "Oh, hi, that seems like a lot." But I didn't say that because, again, hot chick. If it would have been Eleanor, I could have gone, "Eleanor, that really seems like a lot." And Eleanor would have said, "I know, I barely make that in a week, and that's why I have to eat cat food." But hot chick wouldn't understand that. I got to look like Mr. Moneybags because I've got to, quite frankly, overcompensate for the fact that I am sweating as if I were running from the police. So I just hand over my card. I'm like, fantastic. I can handle $170. That's great. Bing. And I said, "You know what? My wife is like a sample person. Like she likes samples." She's like, "Oh, I'll load you up. No problem." And she went off to go find samples. And I'm standing there waiting. I'm holding my gift wrapped thing and everything's paid for. And I just want to escape at this point because, again, I'm dripping sweat on their nice rug. And I'm not kidding. Just softly, I just hear, "Sir?" And I turn around. Eleanor is like an inch from me. Like I don't know where she came from, but she sidled up quietly. Because again, her feet are just shuffling. And she's, that's the thing is she can barely walk. So, I mean, she's just like, eh. And she just goes, sir? And I turn around and I'm like, oh, hi, Eleanor. Now I know her name and I call her by her name. I don't know why. I heard her get yelled at like a child, and yet I kept that information in my brain. And I go, hi, Eleanor. And I'm holding my gift. And she goes, oh, that's a lovely wrapping job. I really like the bow. She reaches out to like look at the package, and she shocks me on the hand with the worst static electricity bolt I've ever had. Because apparently, as she shuffles in her little shoes across the nice Nordstrom rug, she's getting charged. She's like Electro from the Spider-Man comic books. And she's not making human contact with anybody else, and certainly hasn't for the past 11 years. So I might be getting a charge that she's been saving up for weeks and weeks. Because I think my hair stood on end. I mean, and again, I'm wet. I could die at this point. I'm covered in like this thin sheen of sweat. She reaches over and goes, oh, that's a nice package. Touches my hand. I think I actually heard, tss. I mean, it was like awful. This worst static electricity. The hairs on my arm stood up. I was like, really? I prefer the gas chamber, Eleanor, quite frankly. I don't want to go out like that on a fucking Nordstrom's rug. You shocking me to death. But literally, I looked at her and I yelped because it was really like a shock. Like it was crazy. And she touched me and I went, yeah. Like, well, that seems like it wasn't that loud, but it was just like, like that. And I'm telling you, I couldn't have done worse if I had kicked her in the fucking solar plexus. Because she just realized, she like just threw her hands up and was just like, and just shuffled away. Shh, shh, shh. Because she realized there was no winning ever again. I wouldn't be surprised that if she somehow had summoned the strength, she used the ratted fucking sash for her robe and hanged herself from her fucking shower curtain that night, realizing that I was the final straw. Because not only did I make eye contact with her and ignore her, then she gets yelled at by the fucking perfume model, 22-year-old new girl on the block. And then when she finally comes over, when she's finally got me to herself to try to talk to me about something or give me her business card, because that was, she had her business card in her other hand, I should say, because I don't know, it was like to preempt me from dealing with hot chick ever again, but she wanted to possibly get a sale from me in the future, when quite frankly, she's timing her life in minutes at this point. But she reaches out to look at the package and zaps me with the fucking static electricity bolt. Literally, Frankenstein would have come to life if she had touched his neck. And I fucking looked, and she just like slumped forward. Oh, walked off. I felt so awful. I fucking took this woman's entire will to live away. It was shocked away in one fucking brutal hand touch. And then I'm waiting there now, just realizing that I've killed an old woman. Just waiting for the hot chick to come back and bring me the samples. And she came over. She loaded me up with samples, folks. Gave me 3 of them. 3 samples. That's all I got from the hot chick. 3 samples. Are you kidding? I just dropped $175 in this joint. You can't give me more than 3 samples? I'm sure Eleanor would have, if only her tiny arms could have lifted more than 3. As she hasn't had calcium since the war. Poor Eleanor. So I took my flower bomb and I went home, and I stuck I bought I was going to get a card, but there was really nowhere for the card, so I just bought a sticker, and I stuck it on the package, and I just wrote, "Beautiful girl, for all the things you do, always Michael," and then I hid it in the house, and so then that night was Friday, and she came home, and we went out. We had to go get some dinner, and I was going to play poker. So we went to dinner and we're talking. And I heard about her day. And then we got home and I had to go back out. Like I said, I was playing cards, and I walked to the front door and I left because when I play cards, I'm out late, folks. I'm out very late. And I get to the door and she walks to give me a kiss goodbye. And she kissed me and I looked at her and I said, somewhere in this house, there's an Easter egg. And it's got your name on it. I'm not going to give you any hints, but I'm going to tell you it's somewhere in here. And you can find it very easily. I look forward to hearing what happens. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I said, somewhere in this house, there's an Easter egg. And it has your name on it. I'm not going to give any hints, but I can tell you that it's somewhere here in the house. It's not a crazy place in the house. It's in the house where you can find it. I look forward to hearing what happens. Because I think that's better than just giving somebody something. Because I was going to hide it on her desk, like on her chair at her desk, and when she pulled her chair out, she'd see it there. It was all wrapped with a note on it. But instead, I hid it. And where I put it was, I put it behind the television. We have a television and we have a TV stand, and it was behind there. So all you had to do was like lean over and look, and you would see it. But All right, here's the thing. When I was a kid, Easter morning, our Easter baskets were hidden. How did you do it?
Hidden.
Yeah, hidden. Was it Easter baskets or eggs?
Basket.
Yeah, our baskets were hidden, and there's 5 of us. There were 5 boys. So if you found your brothers, you couldn't say anything, and you had to leave it where it was and go looking all over. But when I say hidden, I mean it was behind the couch, or it was in a cabinet. You know what I mean? It wasn't, my mom didn't fucking put it in the storage unit under the camping gear. You know what I mean? It's like, that would be awful, because then it would be all dirty, and I would never find my Easter basket ever. But that's what I should have said, Easter basket. Okay, but I said there's an Easter egg, and it's hidden here in the house. But she's like, so then, because my wife likes, she's a fan of that. All right, and I thought it would be neater to do that than just hand it to her, especially with me going out, because then I don't get full benefit of giving gift. So I leave and I go play poker, and I'm excited because I know when I come home from poker, I am going to just completely ravage my wife, because she's going to be so happy and excited about the Easter egg. It's going to be great. She's going to be excited. I'm going to wake her up gently, and then it's going to be, I'm going to bring the waitress in. It's going to be fantastic. No, this is Friday. This is before the waitress talk. So, which is probably why I got away with waitress talk. But so I come home. I got home at like 4:30 in the morning after poker, and I come into the house, and I walk over to the TV and I look. It's still behind the television. She didn't find it. She looked. I don't know where she. That's the thing, is I think she thought that I was going to be a dick and hide it like in the under the sink on the far right. Like, come on, no. The whole point was I gave a hint when I said it's an Easter egg, which meant it's like Easter. It's kind of hidden in plain sight. It's out in the open, so find it. But also, she doesn't know how big it is. So I don't know what she's looking for, because then when you say Easter egg, she's looking for something smaller. I don't fucking know. All I know is so then I go, well, no, now I'm pissed, because I know I can't wake her up and have sex. Because it would, that's not going to work. So whenever I come home and my wife's in bed, I always go in and I give her a kiss, and then I leave the room. I close the door because I'm going to be watching TV or whatever, and I don't want her to wake up. So I walk in to give her a kiss. It's like I said, it's 4:30 in the morning, and I lean over and I give her a kiss, and I go to walk out, and she goes, Michael. And I go, yeah. And she goes, give me that damn nest egg. Give me that damn nest egg. That's what she had for me at 4:30 in the morning, half asleep. And I went, somewhere in this house, there's an Easter egg with your name on it. And she's just like, no. And I go, all right. So I walk out. She doesn't want to hear the speech again. So the next day, she's going to do her deal, her yard sale. And I'm going to sleep all day. So I wake up. She comes home from the yard sale. She's flush with cash. She's all excited. And she's like, where's that damn nest egg? And I said, look, there's hints in what I told you. I told you there's an Easter egg in the house somewhere with your name on it. You got to find it. I go, you know what? I should have said Easter basket. There's an Easter basket somewhere in the house, and it's hidden. It's got your name on it. I look forward to hearing and she's like, well, we looked for eggs when we were kids, but not our basket. So I go, how did you do Easter? So it turned out for Easter, they just had their baskets when they woke up. They were in the living room, and then they had to hunt for eggs in their house. And I guess they were hidden, like, pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't know whether to keep them away from the dogs. I have no idea what. But it was, so I should have realized that some people don't do Easter the same way that I did it, although you did, thankfully. So, Lily, in your apartment, there's an Easter egg. But then I went, oh, well, look, I go, it's hidden here, but it's not, I go, all right, it's in here somewhere, but it's not in a crazy place. That's all. And then she started looking around. So she starts looking then she goes in like a front closet, and I'm just like, why would I put it in the front closet? Now I'm getting frustrated. Like, I just want to go, it's right there, God damn it. But that ruins it. But then I said to her, I go, it's like an Easter basket. It's hidden, but it's in plain sight. Like, you can find it very easily. It's like under something or behind something and then the whole time I'm saying this, I'm looking at the television, and she's looking around. And then she walks over, and she looks, and she just goes, and then she reaches over and she picks it up, and she read it, and she's like, oh my gosh. And then she opened it up and she saw that it was the flower bomb, and she was very happy. So, there you go. So I was able to, it got me out of the because my wife deserves that. She deserves it. I mean, she does great things. And so, luckily she found it. Although I was mad that she didn't find it right away. I mean, I hate having to give hints. But sure enough, yeah, she walked around, she finally found it, and then she unwrapped it and found out it was the flower bomb, and she immediately sprayed it on, which seemed weird because she said she was about to take a shower. So now I'm like, literally, I'm counting every fucking spritz of the goddamn perfume because I know it cost me $170, and I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah, and she goes, no, she goes, the thing I love about flower bomb is it smells all the time. Like, you can wear it and all day long, it's fine. I go, yeah, but you're about to take a goddamn shower. She said, that's okay, I just wanted to put it on right away to smell it. And I said, all right. So, yeah. So, and then the next day I talked about banging a waitress right in front of her. Worked out fine. So, fellas, if you've got your eye on a waitress in a local hash house, first thing you got to do is go ahead and buy your wife some expensive perfume, and the next day she'll actually contemplate the three-way with you over a fucking muffin. That'll work out perfect.
Did you know the 40-year-old boy still watches Elmo?
Later on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network, it's The Velvet Rope. Join Big James and Chewy as they bring you the horror stories of bouncing at some of Hollywood's hottest nightclubs.
So I got this fucking guy. I got him against the wall. I've kicked him out of the club at least 3 fucking times already. He won't leave. So you know what I did, right?
You tried to tear his fucking ear off,
I tore his ear. Of course I did. I grab his fucking ear. I rip it. The thing won't come off. I'm telling you, man. It's in my hand. Blood shooting out of his fucking head. He's screaming, fuck my ear, my ear. What can I do? What are I going to do? Keep pulling? Let it go? I didn't know what to do.
You ain't going to put it back on.
You'll never look at clubbing the same way again once you've heard The Velvet Rope on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
Fucking cartilage.
I may have mentioned that I'm on Twitter, folks. Have I mentioned that to you, folks? I haven't mentioned it this week. I'll mention it at the end of the show. But I'm on Twitter, and I have all right, there's people following me, but I don't follow many people. And yet still, the people that I follow, I only follow, I think, like 10 people, maybe 12 people. But Jesus Christ, the people that I follow, I used to think Karen had a lot of Twitters, and because she follows everybody. She follows, Meaningful Sayings and fucking, Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore and every other horrible person. Well, I follow sports people, and these people deluge me with updates all day long. And the worst part is when your phone is off, okay, everything's quiet. But then when I turn on my iPhone, everybody who's got an Apple is familiar with that noise, like that little xylophone or like that little noise that you get when you get a Twitter or a message from somebody. Well, all day long, I get 65 fucking Twitters, and the worst part is you can't do anything with your phone until they all load. So last night I'm at Pearl Jam, and my phone is off, and then I'm going to take pictures at the show. So I turn my phone on, and it takes time to power up. Eddie Vedder's singing. My wife's watching his cock sway back and forth, whatever she's doing. And then finally the phone comes on, and I put the camera on, and then and they just keep coming. They keep coming, and I have to. And the worst part is you have to hit close, because they come up right on the screen. There's got to be something I can do to fix that, right? Isn't there something I can do? No, that just happens. Lily's just nodding and turning her head. She couldn't care less at this point. But so I get deluged by people. So I find Twitter to be kind of an annoyance to a certain extent. But I will tell you this. Twitter is also useful to a certain extent, and here's why. Last Monday, one of the people that I follow, folks, is a guy named Dana White. Dana White is the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championships, the UFC, which is a league where they have men who wear underwear and punch each other in the face. So that's making it much more simplistic than it should be, but that's what any person on the street would probably tell you is what it was. But anyway, he's the head of the UFC, and I follow Dana White, and he doesn't Twitter a lot, thank God. He's not one of those people because he's busy making deals and swearing. That's what he's doing. If you know anything about Dana White, he's very busy making video blogs and swearing and bitching about reporters. So last Monday, he Twitters a thing that says, "Hey, L.A., New York, and Phoenix, I will be on the road this week giving away tickets to UFC 104 in Los Angeles. Pay attention, and I'll tell you where I'm going to be." So I'm like, oh my God, all right. So now I have a reason to follow Twitter. Now I have a reason to read them. It's not just some guy going, "Hey, I had egg salad today. Fuck you, click." You know what I mean? Now there's a real reason. So he was going to be in New York early in the week, and then in Phoenix Wednesday, and then he was going to be in Los Angeles Friday. And he was going to tell you when he got to those cities where to meet him and where you could get tickets. So in New York, the way he did it was he posted, "Hey, I'm at CNBC in an hour. Come meet me there and you'll get free tickets after I do this thing," and he gave the address. So I guess people showed up and they wound up getting tickets and it worked out okay. And he's like, "Hey, New York, I had a great time." So then Wednesday, he's like, "Getting on the plane for Phoenix will tell you exactly where I'm going to be when I'm going to be there." So he went ahead and he did whatever he was going to do in Phoenix. And then his next Twitter was, Hey, if you guys want to get tickets to Los Angeles to Machida and Shogun, those are the fighters, by the way. That sounds like code if you don't have any idea who it is, but it's Lyoto Machida, the dragon, and he's fighting Mauricio Shogun Hua. And folks, if you don't watch the UFC, you really should. You need to get involved at this point. Because it's the sport of the future, as Lloyd Dobler would say about kickboxing, but he'd be wrong because it's not the UFC. That's what's the sport of the future. Thanks, Lloyd. And by the way, speaking of Lloyd Dobler, I love John Cusack, and I am excited to see him in any movie. But we saw the trailer for that 2012 or whatever the hell it is. Folks, when you're laughing out loud at the trailer, that does not bode well for going to see the movie. And Karen and I play a game. Whenever we see a trailer, the trailer will end, and she and I will look at each other. We just, we turn our heads and make eye contact, and I'll go, yes or no. And she'll say, yes. And then I'll say, yes. And that means are you seeing the movie or not? And sometimes we disagree, but rarely. But 2012 unfolded, and I laughed at it. I mean, dude, there are plot holes in the trailer. The trailer's 2 minutes long. There's plot holes in the trailer. They're in a station wagon outrunning an earthquake to get to the airport. I mean, when did the earthquake slow down that they could get out? It's right behind their car. Then they get to the airport, and they leap into the plane, and then they're going to fly. Then they're flying through a devastated Los Angeles that's falling apart as they drive. You see people on the freeways, and there's no way. I watch it, I'm like, where are you going to land? Where the fuck are you going to fly this Piper Cub that you're going to land? The world is being destroyed. The world is falling apart. Where could you possibly land this plane? You're just going to die. Eventually, you're going to plunge into the drink, or you're going to not be able to land anywhere, right? Isn't that true? Because, if you see the upheaval that the Earth is going through because of the Mayan calendar, folks, plot holes in the goddamn trailer do not bode well for the film. All right, that's all I'm saying to you. And I love Cusack, and I went and saw that stupid haunted hotel room movie, Stephen King, with Samuel L. Jackson, and actually it wasn't bad. Cusack was real good in it. Samuel L. Jackson was good in it. Turned out to be much better than I thought it was going to be. But I can't see 2012 being that good, really. I mean, you know what? Oh, you know what is a good movie if you want to see John Cusack in a movie? What is it? The Ice Storm? Is it called The Ice Storm or The Ice? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Perfect Storm.
No. Yeah, he's in the Perfect Storm.
Perfect Storm. No.
Is The Ice Storm Ang Lee? I don't know if The Ice Storm is. Or if The Ice Storm is an Ang Lee movie, that's not the one I'm talking about. But because that has a key party and a bunch of stuff going on there. But Cusack's in a movie called Ice. He and Billy Bob Thornton are in like a kind of a dark movie in Detroit. You should see that movie. It's a very good movie. Anyway, who cares? No one cares. See that, rent that rather than go see 2012. Although, you know what? Go see 2012 because I want John to keep making movies and making money because I fucking love John Cusack. All right, so how the fuck did I get on that? How? Right, but how did I spin into Cusack? Oh, Lloyd Dobler. All right, there we go. Dana White. So, Dana White. Ice Harvest. There you go. That's the movie. Go see that movie with John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton. It's a great movie. So we and go see the Ice Storm too. I heard that's very good. Again, there's a key party in it and a lot of fun stuff. Ang Lee can make decent movies unless he's trying to make the Hulk, and then all of a sudden Nick Nolte turns into a bubble, and that's the end of the film. All right, so terrible. All right, but still, you should, Ang Lee, go see Brokeback Mountain because Brokeback Mountain is an unbelievably heartbreaking and sad film, and you need to see it if you haven't seen it. And again, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know because it's 4 years later. But so what? That movie, whenever it's on cable, whenever I see Brokeback Mountain is on cable, I will just tape it. Like I'll TiVo it for just a cursory TiVo, and then I'll watch it and fast forward through it, literally just to see all the stuff. And again, I'm outing myself, I'm sure at this point, but anything with Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal together, and Randy Quaid also does a nice job. But anything with them is phenomenal because the very fact that they had to do that, who knows if they're gay or they're not gay or whatever they are, I don't know. But in that movie, you certainly believe they were in love, and it was unbelievable. The end of that movie is the saddest thing in history. It's sadder than Eleanor at the perfume counter. That's how sad the end of Brokeback Mountain is. It is sadder than that old woman with no soul trying to sell me flavored water. So that's fucking brutal. So watch Brokeback. All right, so again, how did I get Dana? All right, Dana White. So. But how did I even spiral off into Brokeback? Ang Lee, the Ice Harvest. Dana White, Twitters, he's in Phoenix, and he goes to a mall. And people meet him at the mall, and he's like, hey, this is great. Watch for me Friday in L.A. I will Twitter where I'm going to be. So I tell Karen, look, I'm on a mission Friday. At first I ask her if she can take the day off of work and help me. Go ahead and Because I figure we get a better, if we got two cars out searching, then that's going to be great. Because I don't even know where the fuck he's going to be at this point. But now I'm trying to figure out, because I like the game aspect of it. I will tell you that I enjoy the search almost more than the discovery, because we used to do this all the time. Karen and I, one time, Karen collected Beanie Babies when that seemed like a good idea. So McDonald's came out, when we first moved here in 98, McDonald's came out with a bunch of Beanie Babies, and they were supposedly, if you got the whole set, they were going on eBay for like $100, and it was this crazy deal. So the day they came out, my wife was at work, and I, of course, have no job. So I pile into my car, and I drive to every McDonald's. And I will tell you, it was a good move, too, because I learned a lot about the city. Like, because we had just moved here, so I was kind of learning the layout and where everybody was and how to go, what streets. And I've not retained any of that information, believe me. I still need my GPS to tell me everything that it could possibly tell me. But at that moment, I would just drive until I saw Arches, and then I would fly into the parking lot, and I was on a one-day deal where I was trying to get all of these Beanie Babies in one goddamn day because I wanted to surprise Karen before she came home. Like, I didn't tell her that I was doing it. So I spent the entire day out looking for these Beanie Babies, and fuck yeah, you're goddamn right, I got them all. And now we've got them, and they're 11 cents. I think they might be worth I think I spent $180 in gas trying to track them down that day. And I think they're worth 11 cents. So, yeah, it was a quality buy. So, because I had to buy, here's my fat ass, I had to buy food every time I got them. Because that's the deal. I think there were 8 of them to collect, or 10 of them, and they were in a Happy Meal. So you actually had to buy a Happy Meal. This is before they would sell you the toys for $3 or whatever the fuck. This was when you actually still had to buy the Happy Meal to get the toy involved. And then I would go and I would ask them what toy it was, and if it was the wrong one, I would have to run out. But if it was the right one, I'd have to buy a meal. And I'm in the car, just piles of cardboard and hamburger buns, and I'm driving around trying to get Beanie Babies. So I love the search part of it. That's great. To me, that's a game. I mean, I'm excited about that. I wish I lived in the 50s when there were scavenger hunts. That would have been fucking awesome. Back in the 50s when they didn't let cowboys have sex. All right, so I wish I lived back then. Oh, heartbreaking. So as opposed to now when they really let cowboys have sex. I understand the cowboy has sex with the Indian, who then has sex with the police officer, who then has sex with the biker, who then has sex with the construction worker, and we'll all meet together in the Navy. So I'll sail the 7 seas. All right, so Dana White. So Dana White's Twittering. So I like the search. That was also Mike Toomey and I would go out and search I loved searching for toys for Mike Toomey's kids. When we would be on the road, we would be looking for certain action figures, like certain heroes, and we would go to comic book stores and make fun of the nerds, and then we would in turn be made fun of because we were in town to do comedy. I told that story where Mike Toomey had the Mach 5 on his keychain, and we were mocked by nerds. All right, so that was in year 1. I told that story. By the way, year 1 is on sale. You hear about it later. All right, so I'm waiting for Dana White to Twitter where he's going to be. And I'm trying to get my wife, like I said, and I was actually going to ask Lily to see if she wanted to do it. But considering last week she wouldn't even give me a ride, I didn't think there was any way I was going to get her involved in this showdown. So Karen's like, I can't do it. I got to work. I said, that's okay. I'll find out exactly where he's going to be, but I might have to call you so you can tell me where that is. Because, again, I don't know where anything is, but my wife knows where everything is. So I get up, and Thursday night, thankfully Thursday night, Dana White sends a Twitter. And it says, hey, I'll be in Los Angeles tomorrow, and then around 3 o'clock, you guys can meet me and get tickets to UFC 104, Shogun and Machida. And then his next Twitter was, I'll be in the West L.A. area. Now, I don't know where that is. To me, West L.A. is the ocean. So I don't know if he's going to be out in international waters on a boat, and then there's going to be like a cockfight, or we've got to do something to get these tickets. I have no idea what's going to happen. So I looked at my wife. I go, what's West L.A.? She goes, oh, that's it's like, Century City, Culver City, like down in that area. I said, oh, all right, well, I know where that is, right? And she goes, yeah, you've been there, dork. Of course you know where that is. I said, all right, well, so I got to be down there tomorrow. What I'll do is I'll get down there around 2:30, and then I'll be ready for a Twitter, and I'll figure out what he's going to do. And she couldn't care less at this point. She stopped listening to me an hour before that. She doesn't care about me chasing Dana. She doesn't care about any of it. So I'm excited. The next day, and the thing is, I will tell you, my schedule, folks, is all fucked up. I go to bed at like 7 in the morning, and by 7 in the morning, I mean 10 in the morning, or sometimes 11. I mean, I stay up late. I stay up so late it's early. But that day I can't because I've got to get up and chase the man. That sounds so stupid. I can't because I got to get up and chase the man. So that night, I go to bed Thursday night, and I go to bed at like 6 a.m., and my alarm goes off, and I wake up at 12:30, which is not bad, 6.5 hours. That's good. So I get up, and I'm sitting at the computer, and I'm getting ready, and I'm just kind of killing time checking my emails when I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to leave my house, like I said, around 1:45, 2 o'clock to get down to the ocean in West LA and try to figure out where I got to go. So I'm at my desk, and a Twitter comes in, and it's like 10 to 1. I pick up my phone, and this is what it says. It's from Dana White, and it says, "I'm sorry, my meeting's finished early, so the time has changed. I will hit you all in 30 minutes where to meet me in Culver City. Get ready." I'm naked at my desk. I mean, I'm staring at my email, and I'm like, you motherfucker. Because I'm in the valley. Folks, let me tell you where I'm at. I'm in the valley, so I'm about, I would say, 12 miles from Culver City. 12 to 15 miles via the freeway, okay? And I immediately, again, it's 12:50 and I got to go to the freeway, but I figure it's Friday afternoon, so the freeway's not going to be that bad. So I'm going to go ahead, and I can't even shower. Shower's out of the window at this point. I just got to get dressed. So I run in and I throw clothes on. The phone rings. I answer it. It's Karen. I go, "What's going on?" She goes, "What?" And I go, "Where's Culver City?" She goes, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Well, where would I go to Culver City?" She goes, "You take the 405 and you get off like around like Olympic Pico or Washington." I said, "Okay, cool." I said, she goes, "Why?" And I go, "Because the guy twittered me about the tickets, and I'm about to go hunt him down." But she goes, "I thought it was at 3 o'clock." And I go, "No," because apparently she was listening to me. And I go, "No, he just changed it. He said his meetings have ended, so I don't know what's happening." She goes, "Oh, all right, well, yeah, you just call me and let me know what's going on." I go, "No problem, bye." Click, and I hang up. I throw my clothes on, and I'm and I don't smell, folks. I'll tell you this, I'm a big guy, but I don't stink. So even not having a shower is not really that big of a problem, because let's face it, I don't physically exert myself at all. So that's certainly. I stopped exercising over 2 years ago, so please, I haven't sweat in anger in almost 18 months. So I'm like, great, no problem. I'll go ahead and chase down Dana. So I get dressed. I grab like some drinks, and I'm ready to go. I leap out to the car. I get another Twitter as I'm walking to my car from Dana White. Also, for the first 7 people to get there, I have the first print of the UFC action figures to give out. They are the only 7 that exist. Fuck yes. I cannot wait to get down there now, because I'm going to get these goddamn action figures, and I'm going to get these tickets, and then Dana and I might have some lunch, because surely no one else is following him on Twitter. No one else is going to go down there and fucking meet him, so I cannot wait to do this. All I got to do is get to fucking Culver City post-haste. Another Twitter comes in from Dana White. They are a collector's item, so good luck. Thank you, Dana. Good luck to you, because when I find you, I'm going to shake your hand and never stop. So I get into my car. I immediately do like I turn and I I go to the 405, and actually I got to go to the 101. All right, in the valley, I have to shoot up Magnolia. Let me tell you, folks, where I live. I'm an idiot. So I have to go up the street, and I have to get on the 101 freeway, and that's going to take me to the 405. So I get in the 101, and it's blazing. I mean, there's nobody on the 101. Beautiful. So I start flying, and I'm like waiting, and I've got my phone in my pocket, and I'm waiting to see if he's going to send me a Twitter. And I merge onto the 405. And when I say merge onto the 405, folks, I go to the 101 and I stop my car as if I were at a cliff. That's the dead stop I come to as I get to the entrance to the 405. I'm waiting there at the entrance. I get another Twitter from Dana White. Brink. If you are in Orange County, you have time. Well, this is at 1:02 p.m. He sends this. I'm right by the 405, and in my head I go, "Hey, Dana, I don't know if you've ever been to California before, but nobody is getting from Orange County to Culver City in 30 fucking minutes. I'm going to barely get there from the valley. As soon as I can get on the 405, once some hillbilly pushes his goddamn car out of the way, what the fuck is happening in the front of this goddamn line?" So I'm waiting at the 405. I'm waiting to move. I finally get onto the 405, and I merge over, and another Twitter comes from Dana White. "Take your time. Don't drive like maniacs. I will be here." Because I think somebody got to him and said, "Dude, Mike Schmidt is going to be driving like a maniac to get to you." Because, again, nobody else is following his Twitter except me. So I know that I'm the only guy. So he's sending these Twitter messages, they're coming right to me. He might as well go, "Mike, take your time. Don't drive like a maniac, Mike. I will be here, Mike." So I'm in the car. I got the phone. It's locked and loaded. It's in my pocket. I'm driving on the 405. Everything seems to be good. And then there's a certain area on the 405 called the Pass. It's like by the Getty, okay? So at the Getty Museum, which is famous for traffic and and artwork, apparently. I wouldn't know about the artwork. All I know is about the goddamn traffic. So sure enough, I come to a dead stop on the freeway. And I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, and I'm watching time tick away. And you know that feeling when you're watching the clock move as you're in the car? I think I covered this before when I was trying to make a left-hand turn a long time ago. But this is much more important, folks. So I'm in the car, I'm waiting, I'm driving, and by driving, I mean I'm inching forward. And then I do that thing that we all hate other people doing, but we all do it. When you start hopping lanes because one lane starts moving, you're in one lane that's not moving, but the other lane starts to move. You're like, fuck that, I got to get over there. Boom, you get into that lane, and then that one stops. Your lane starts moving. I got to get over there. Boom, then you cross over 2 lanes. Then you get your fucking... And the whole time, I actually sat there with my signal on the whole time because I was basically telling those people, oh, yeah, I'm getting over at all times. I'm alerting you to the fact that I am driving like a fucking jamoke at this point. I'm going to be cutting you off. I'm going to be moving around because, folks, I don't know if you know this. Dana White is Twittering me and telling me that I need to meet him for lunch. That's what we're doing. He and I are good friends because apparently now I'm the fucking son of Sam John Hinckley of Lyoto Machida and Shogun Rua tickets. I can't fucking believe it. I said Rua, it's Hua. I get that. All right, so I don't want to offend my Brazilian listeners. So I'm waiting, and I'm Hinkleying fucking Dana White. I've got the Twitter. I'm waiting, and as I'm driving, I'm moving, and I'm moving very slowly, and I'm moving really, really slowly. But I'm still making progress. But I see the time ticking away, and I've got the phone in my hand, and I'm looking at it, waiting for another Twitter, willing it. I'm trying to just psychically draw another Twitter from Dana out of the goddamn phone, and I'm hopping from lane to lane. I do not go into the carpool lane. I will tell you that, folks. I am not a cheater. If you get into the carpool lane, you need to have another person in your car. There's nothing worse than the fucking double yellow line person who hops over that or has. I hate you. You in the carpool lane solo, die. Die. Seriously. Die when you're driving alone. I don't want anybody around. You need to just crash and die on your own. So don't take anybody with you. And there's not a problem with that because there's nobody in your fucking car. Is there? Solo carpool guy. So I'm driving, and then at 1:27, another fucking Twitter comes over from Dana White. And I literally, the phone's in my pocket, and all I hear is blink. And I'm like, fuck. I scramble out, and I pull it out. And it says, laughing out loud, a guy just found me, and I didn't even say where yet. He got the Hoist Gracie action figure and 2 tickets. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Fuck! Are you kidding me? The Hoist Gracie action figure is gone? 2 of the tickets are gone? And who's this guy horning in on my date with Dana White? Who does this guy think he is? I got a lunch date with Dana. We're going to be giving me all sorts of fucking action figures and tickets, and some guy who doesn't even know me shows up and takes my prizes away. You fucking rat. I'm goddamn sweating away in a goddamn car here. I can't understand why it's happening. Fuck it. So I'm driving. I'm hopping lanes. I get closer. And all I want to do is get to Washington. I want to get to Washington and get off. Now, on the 405, that means you got to pass Wilshire, you got to pass Santa Monica, you got to pass Olympic and Pico, you got to pass the 10, and then there's Washington. So in your brain, you're just counting it down. All right, here we go. I'm at Wilshire. Bang, bang, bang. Let's move. Oh, all right, I'm at Santa Monica. Bang, bang. Let's go. I just got to get past Olympic and Pico. I got to get past the 10, and I got to get to Washington. But again, folks, we're not moving. And when I say we're not moving, I mean nobody else is moving. I'm moving. There's nowhere to go, but I'm fucking moving. At this point, I wish I had a Hummer. I'd be riding over cars, and I'm just fucking furious. But finally, I make the executive decision as I see time ticking away, minutes just ticking away. I go, fuck it. I have to get off at Olympic and Pico. Because when I get off there, I can go ahead and shoot over to Washington. Now, I should tell you people, I don't know why the fuck I have Washington in my head. I need to be at Olympic and Pico. My wife told me, get off at Olympic and Pico, and it's near Washington. Well, in my stupid brain, I just latched onto Washington and thought that's where I needed to go. So I get off at Olympic and Pico, and I turn right by Gateway, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. Culver City's the other way. So I spin around, and remember, he sent me a Twitter that said he was going to be there in 10 minutes. Okay? So now I don't know what the fuck to do. I finally just pull onto a side street in Culver City, and I wait. I'm just waiting for his next Twitter, okay? Because he posted it was 1:27 p.m. He said it would be there in 10 minutes. Now it's like 1:45, and I'm getting over, and I get off at 1:50, and I make a left turn, a right turn. I wind up on a side street, and I don't know where the hell he is. He hasn't Twittered, and now I'm panicking because I think he might think I'm not going to show up. Because he's been sending these Twitters, and I haven't been able to call him back, which... Quite frankly, in this relationship I have in my head, I don't know why I would have his phone number, but apparently he and I are very close, and he keeps sending me these Twitters, and yet I haven't contacted him back. He's probably very worried about me at this point. So I'm on a side street. I get his last Twitter, like I said, 10 minutes, but then a half hour goes by. I'm sitting there on the side street. All of a sudden, I panic. I sign on the internet because I have Twitter that comes right to my phone. Fuck it. I go to the Twitter website and I go to the Dana White Twitter page and I just keep hitting refresh every second. Refresh. Finally, It comes up at 1:55. It says, if you want tickets to Machida versus Shogun fight on October 24th at the Staples Center in L.A., California, meet me at... And I'm on a side street. Refresh. Finally, refresh. The West Side Pavilion in Culver City. I'm at PacSun on the 3rd floor. I immediately throw my phone into the passenger seat and I fucking turn on my GPS. Because, folks, I don't know where the fuck I am. I have no idea where the West Side Pavilion is. I don't even know if I'm in Culver City. All I know is I'm on a side street by a bunch of tow trucks. So I put on the GPS, and luckily with my GPS, I can search landmarks. I can search, nearby points of interest, shopping, restaurants, whatever. So I go shopping, and it says shopping center. I put in West Side Pavilion, and I hit search. And it comes up, there's like 4 of them. One of them's in Culver City. I hit it, and it says, and it gives me the map, and it says, you want these directions? I'm a fucking half mile from the West Side Pavilion on this side street. Unbelievable. So I fucking hit yes, and it goes, I got to turn around. Folks, it turns into the car chase scene from the fucking French Connection. Honestly, I'm into Live and Die in L.A., and I'm William L. Peterson. I got 2 feet going, one on the gas, one on the brake. I whip a fucking U-turn. I go over the median, folks. I whip a U-turn, clunk, clunk, clunk. These guys in the tow trucks are like, beep, beep, and I'm like, who fucking cares? My friend Dana just told me to meet him. I go up to the stop sign, run it. I run the stop sign. There's another car coming, but I shoot past him. I turn left. And again, I'm a half mile from there, so I don't know where the fuck it is. I'm driving up. Another light turns yellow. I floor it, and I go around. A guy stops in front of me. I fucking go around him and zip right by him through the fucking red light. Because I'm that close. Who's that close? And again, I don't want Dana to pack up and go home. He knows I'm coming now. He sent me the address. So I fucking drive, and it says I'm like a 1/10 of a mile away, but on my right-hand side, it says West Side Pavilion parking. I don't even stop. Have you ever made a right-hand turn without braking? I just fucking whip the car. Boom! I fly into the West Side Pavilion parking lot, and then there's a left. I take this left, and there's another car backing out, and I literally lay on the horn. Brr, brr, and he stops backing out, and I just fly. I don't fucking care. I find the first spot I can, and I hit the brakes, and I pull in as hard as I can with the hardest right, kept my wheels turned, and I fucking open the door, turn the car off. I look at my phone. Folks, I make an executive decision. I get out, the fucking guy's honking his horn at me. Now I'm not even out of in the car anymore, and the guy's still honking at me. That's how fast I parked. I get out, I look, there's escalators and elevators. I don't know where the fuck it is. I've never been in this fucking place ever in my life. I get out of my car, folks, and I run. I haven't run in almost 2 years. I told you, I haven't sweat in anger at all in 18 months. It's on my blog in the 340, in the first Rocky with a blog. I wrote, I haven't sweat at all. I haven't made myself sweat in that long. I sprint through the fucking parking lot, folks. I run, and I'm in the parking area. I run, and this guy holds a door for me, and I'm like coming through. I just fucking barrel through. Because again, I weigh about 340 these days. 6'2", 340. Dead sprint, running as fast as I can. I get to the escalators, boom, 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 2 stairs at a time, 1 escalator. Now I'm up to the parking level 1, boom, 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 boom. I run up there, and then I come out of the parking area into a mall, but I don't know, it's not the mall, and then I see a sign and it says bridge to shopping area, right this way. I start running. When I was a kid, I used to love to run through the mall. Okay, this will sound retarded to you, but I would do it to practice like football moves, like cutting and spinning and juking and almost like OJ in the airport in the commercial. I would literally do this in our local mall. I would run and I would do it on purpose. I did it at my house too when I would carry a football and I would run at cars, not moving cars, parked cars, and I would juke and spin and go through hedges. I'm sure we all did this as children, right? No? Those of us without friends, perhaps we did it. But I mean, it was just a thing that I loved to do because I loved the feeling of running and juking and spinning. And I got good. I mean, I had pretty good moves, folks. For a big guy, I can move. So sure enough, I call upon all of my old powers of juking and running and avoiding, and I'm sprinting through the fucking mall. There's people standing there. I'm running. I'm doing spin moves. I'm running and juking, and I'm fat and flying, and I'm still nowhere close. I don't know where the fuck I am. I'm running through this bridge to the shopping center, but I'm making good fucking time doing it. I'll tell you that. And I'm fucking running. Sure enough, I come upon an escalator. Now remember, I've got the Twitter. He's on the 3rd floor. I come to an escalator. I just fucking haul balls up this escalator. I run, whoo, 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 2 steps at a time, fucking up the escalator. That's from 1 floor to the 2nd floor. I get to the 2nd floor, another escalator. Whoo, 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 whoo. I fucking run. Now, I got to remind you folks, I have a broken toe on my left foot. And I have a bad calf, which became a bad Achilles from favoring the calf. But I'm pushing through the goddamn pain, folks. Rocky with a blog started, and it started in a goddamn mall. I run up this 2nd escalator, and I get to the 3rd floor, and I turn the corner, and there's fucking Nordstrom's. I don't care. I fucking blast a sprint. Woo, woo. I sprint through Nordstrom's. People are looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy running for? So I go running through, and I'm running through Nordstrom's, and I'm spinning, and I'm looking, and I see ahead of me the shopping. That thing where you exit into the mall, I fucking go sprinting. I sprint into the mall, and there's a sign that tells you where everything is. So I look, and it's like, you are here. PacSun is on this floor, just up on the left. As I'm standing there looking at the sign, 2 guys run past me. Foo, 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 foo. I look around, I'm like, no fucking way. Did they hear about my date with Dana? So I fucking start sprinting, and I turn around the corner, and I'm running as fast as I can. All of a sudden, it dawns on me, I look. Everybody is running in this fucking mall. There's at least 10 other guys running by me, but then there's guys running the other way, and then there's guys like running comically and just stopping and like looking around back and forth, like fucking Belushi in the beginning of Animal House when he's doing that weird run. People are running through this goddamn... It's like Vietnam with a fucking hot dog on a stick. That's what it is. It's Vietnam with hot dog on a stick. And as you're running, I got to tell you something about Los Angeles too, people. When people see people running, nobody panics. Because then they see a line. Everybody goes, who is it? Who is it? I don't know. Get in line. To them, it's just somebody famous. They're like, well, we could be getting free shit. Let's get in line. So I go running over, and I fucking see Dana White. He's standing there. There's this mass of fucking people. I don't know. They're just running. And the best part is, as I'm running up, people are like, who is it? I don't know who it is. I'm on the 3rd floor of the mall. I look down. There's a 2nd floor and a 1st floor. People are running on the 2nd floor and the 1st floor looking around. It's like it's a mad, 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 mad world. But instead of a tree with a W, we're looking for a guy with a W. Dana White. That's who the fuck we're looking for at this point. So I go running over. I get in line. I'm 30th in line. I'm like the 30th guy in line. So I don't know how these people got tapped into me and Dana in our lunch date. I have no idea how they found that out. But I run up, and I'm like the 30th guy in line, and I fucking stop, and I'm like, yeah! And I fucking high-five the guy behind me. He doesn't know who the fuck I am, but I just put my hand in the air. He puts his hand in the air. I tear his arm off. I literally just fucking, because I got nothing but adrenaline at this point, because, folks, I ran from the parking lot up 2 escalators, down to the other escalators, up 2 more escalators, through Nordstrom's and the mall. Jesus fuck, I am spent. I am spent. And I finally stand up, and I'm like trying to catch my breath, and it's like in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. You're trying to do whatever you can, and I am pouring sweat. I mean, it is dripping off my face. It is all over my arms, my shirt. And unfortunately, it was one of the days when I did not wear a black shirt. I'm wearing like a maroon red shirt, so I'm a sweat stain. That's what I am. I look like a wrestling mat with hair. I mean, it's just, I am covered in sweat and stains and just, I mean, because again, he caught me off guard. I was supposed to take a luxurious shower and get dressed, and I was going to meet Dana. I would have stopped and gotten him some flowers. I mean, I was all excited about it. But instead, he fucking bumps up our date 2 hours, and I got to fucking fly through traffic, through everything else, and then I get there, I'm 30th in fucking line. So I'm standing there, and there's people behind me, and we're talking, and we're all, and as we're standing there in line, people are just approaching Dana, like they're walking up with stuff to get autographs and books, and people start going, "Hey, there's a line, dude! Like I don't know what you think you're doing," but people start cutting up and just going and surrounding Dana. So we're in line, and then we're all the people in line. Now, I should tell you, the UFC fans are they're ready to fight pretty much at all times. A lot of them. And also, you got to take into account, a lot of them have just run from the parking lot. So they probably are too tired to fight at this point, but it's not for lack of effort. They're going to try to kick your ass for cutting in front of them at this point. So I'm standing there, and all these people start cutting in line, and 2 security guards come over from the mall. And they go, all right, folks, let's make an orderly line. And if you know anything about mall security, they're not exactly into their job. So people start cutting, and we start saying, hey, dude, you need to go ahead and enforce this. And these guys are cutting in line, and they're like, well, you know what? We're trying to take care of it. I go, well, you need to take care of it, or we're going to take care of it. I'm telling you that right now. And so everybody's like, yeah. Like they're all like, now I'm the leader. All of a sudden, I'm Piggy, and I've got somebody's head on a stick. I'm like, come on. Now, this isn't, it's not Lord of the Flies, and I'm not ready. I just want to make sure. I just want to meet Dana. Dana and I are supposed to have a club sandwich. That's all I want to do. And I'm going to get my tickets to fucking Machida and Shogun. That's all I want. So I'm standing there, and imagine me, again, wild-eyed, crazy fucking hair, sweat pouring off of me. Hey, you need to take care of this, or we will. Well, great. Now, I look like I just went a few rounds in the fucking octagon. So they go get more security, and the security's trying to make... So in the meantime, I look. There's still people running up. There's still people running from the second floor up and the first floor up. I look at the line. It is down all the way to the end of the third floor of the mall, and it's snaking around the backside. I mean, it's just this it keeps getting bigger. And again, I would say probably 2/3 of them know what they're there for, and the other third are just like, what are we in line for? Duh. But I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and then all of a sudden, more security guards come over, and they split the line. And they walk half the line over to the other side of Dana. We're on Dana's right. And he hasn't started meeting anybody yet. They haven't started giving away the tickets yet. But I'm 30th in the line. So they take half the line and they move it to the other side so he can start meeting people 2 at a time. Now, this is no solution, folks. You've basically told the people in the front of the line, hey, fuck you. A lot of the people from the back of the line are going to go ahead and get in front of you. That's a very $10 an hour way to decide how to handle this crowd. Okay? So the security guards are, again, they're young guys. They're just standing there. They don't know what the fuck to do. So people are cutting in line. We're starting to get antsy. We're getting pissed off now because they're not moving the line at all. And then the main security guy comes over, and I say to him, and he's the only one who knows what's going on. And I say to him, dude, you need to get a handle on this because people are cutting in line. People are, you've already separated the line, so you're cut ahead of all of the people behind me. I go, this doesn't make any sense. He goes, look, you need to understand, we didn't know this was going to happen. We had no idea that he was doing this. Like, we weren't warned. He just showed up here, and I guess he made a phone call, and I'm like, no, he Twittered everybody. And the guy's like, whatever. I don't fucking know what he did. All I know is that he's gone ahead and done this, and now we're fucked. I said, okay, I understand that, but you've got about, 500 meatheads in Affliction and Ed Hardy shirts who are willing to punch somebody in the face to meet their hero, Dana White. And he's like, I know, we're trying to handle it the best that we can. We're moving people around. I go, all right, you are. But you got to talk to your guys. Because, again, I don't know why I became the point man on this entire fucking thing. But I told him, I go, you got to take care of your guys. Because his guys are sitting there with their arms crossed, not doing anything. They're not getting involved in crowd control or moving anyone. Nothing at all. They're not stopping anyone from cutting in line. And then it's getting ugly. It's going to get fucking ugly. So finally he takes his guys aside. And he goes, look, you got to handle this. And he gives them like a little pep talk. And then he comes over to me and... Again, I don't know why I'm the point guy, but he comes over and he goes, the fire marshals are on their way, so they'll take care of it. I don't know what that means. I don't know, like, if he's warning me or telling me I got to get out of here. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. All I know is while we're talking, I should tell you, people are still running up. Running, sprinting from the second floor. They're running the whole time. I've been there now 20 minutes. Still sweating, by the way. Pouring. You can wring my fucking shirt out at this point, and I just can't. I can't stop it. There's nothing I can do. My pores are on their own at this point. They're so excited to see Dana. So people are still running up and getting in a line. Finally, they move us over, and I'm about to meet him. So I get to because I just shut up at this point. I figure I'm going to meet him, and they make an announcement. Look, there are enough tickets, so don't worry about it. So that was the only reason I was there, really. And meeting him was cool, but that was he and I are old friends. So I was more concerned with getting the tickets for UFC 104. So finally, the people ahead of me go, and it's so funny. These guys brought their girlfriends, which just cracked me up that they would bring their girlfriends because they don't care about Dana. Like, none of them, they don't want to meet him, and I'm not certainly not like I care about Dana. So I'm waiting in line. They send them over, and I got to tell you, Dana White could not have been cooler with everybody. I mean, he's meeting all of these people. He shakes hands. He takes pictures. He signed whatever they had. He was friendly and nice. He made eye contact, and he talked to everybody. That was another problem. He talked to everybody for 5 minutes. I mean, that's what he wound up doing. And the security guards are just hoping it would be over soon. It ain't gonna be over soon because it took 45 minutes to get to me, and I was 30th in line. Okay, so you figure he saw 30 from one line, 30 from the other, so he saw 60 people. And I mean, I turn around. There's people still arriving and getting in line. It's insane. They finally move me to the front of the line. The couple in front of me meets Dana. And the woman gets a picture with him. I don't know why, because she didn't. She actually asked her boyfriend, "Who's this guy?" She got a picture. And so then I signed the sheet to get free tickets. And I said to the guy, "So you have to put your phone number and your email address." Well, the woman who signed ahead of me took my email line. Like she put her email, like it was really long, so she bled it over into my spot. So I said to the guy, I go, "There's no room for my email address." And he goes, "Well, no problem." He goes, "They'll call you and they'll get it when they call you." So I said, "All right. Now we get 2 tickets?" And he goes, "No, you get 1 ticket." I said, "You know what?" He sent by Twitter that the first people here were getting 2 tickets apiece. He goes, "I'm just telling you what they told me, bro." He goes, "As far as I know, everybody gets 1 ticket." And I said, "Okay, bro." I didn't say that, but it was so funny that a guy called me bro. So I'm just telling you what they told me, bro. All right, bro. So then it comes for me to meet Dana. So I got my iPhone with me. And I come up to him, and I'm an idiot, folks. Here's how dumb I am. I'm standing in line to meet him. He finishes with the couple, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, big man." And I go, "DW." And because it's, Dana White, and I'm an idiot. And I fucking shake his hand, and I give him, like, the crazy man, like, hug, and I said, "I'm a huge fan of the UFC, a huge fan of yours. I'm very excited. I do this sport." And I like, I'm a motor mouth at this point. I literally did this show for him in like a minute and a half. I'm like, "Oh, Christ, dude, I got to tell you what, I'm a huge fan of the UFC. I've been around since UFC 2. And he's like, "Dude, that's great." And he's laughing. And I go, "Oh, I just got to do me a favor. We're taking a picture." And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Can you put me in a rear naked choke in the picture?" And he goes, "What, bro?" He calls me bro. He drops a bro on me. And I go, dude, put me in a rear naked for the picture. It'll be hysterical." And I got to tell you, I'm still covered in sweat. Like, I am still dripping. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. I've been there 45 minutes. I can't stop sweating. And he cracks up, and he just goes, "Oh, I don't think so, bro." I go, "Come on. It'll be hilarious. You made a fat guy run up 5 escalators. Come on, help him out." And he just starts laughing, and he's laughing hard to his credit. He's like, "No, dude, I can't do it." He goes, "You know why? Because if I do it for you, I got to do it for everybody. And this line is moving too slow as it is." I said, "All right, that's cool." I said, "All right, we'll get a regular picture. That's fine." So we did, and I had the iPhone, and I went to hold it, and I said, "All right, this is gonna be awkward because I got to hold it myself." He goes, "No, I'll give it to Greg. Greg's a pro," because this guy was filming it, like he had an actual like real camera, and he took my iPhone and he fucking took a picture of me and Dana, and I'm like, "Dude, great meeting you. I'm a huge fan. Continued success." And I didn't tell him I was proud of him. I should have. That's what I should have done, because I have a history of that. But I shook his hand and I walked off. And by the time I left, folks, I'm not kidding. I'd been there about 45 minutes and I was 30th in line. I turned around to survey the damage. There was easily 1,000 people in line to see this guy in a mall. That's how big the UFC is. I can't imagine that Phoenix was the same. You know what I mean? Because like he never mentioned it. But I by the time I met him, it was like 2:45 was when I finally got to him. And I go walking out, and this line is all the way down. I ran from Nordstrom's. It's all the way down to Nordstrom's and out around the food court. There's people from the second floor still coming up. I was freaked out. I'm just like, thank God I got here early, and I got my tickets, and I met Dana, so that was fine. And by the way, I should tell you this. Like I said, I left at like 2:45, and the mall was crazy still. Then Dana White that night sent a Twitter at 5:40. And it said, "Thank you all very much. That was fun. UFC fans are the fucking best." So that means for the next 3 hours, he stood in the mall, shook hands, signed autographs, gave away tickets, and hung out with the fans. I mean, I think what you want, because again, a lot of people think the guy's a fucking arrogant douchebag and he talks a bunch of shit and all that. He might be. But I'll tell you what, he fucking took his time and hung out and met every single fan who ran and sprinted through the mall and waited in line to fucking see him. And no matter what you think of the guy on the surface, you have to admire the fucking commitment he has to growing the sport. So now like 4 days go by, and I haven't heard from them about the tickets. And now I'm panicked because, again, I wouldn't panic otherwise, all right, except for the fact that I didn't give them my email address. So now I'm like, well, fuck, what if they're sending that via email and telling you you've got a number to call or some sort of voucher? So now I'm freaked out about that. So yesterday, I Twittered Dana White. I actually Twittered him directly because, again, we're very close. And I sent him a note, And it said, "Hey Dana," or no, it said, "Dana, met you in Culver City and signed up for tickets to UFC 104 and haven't heard back. What's my next move? Anyone I can call?" Because I'm panicked. Because, folks, I ran up 5 escalators. Have I mentioned that? Listen, if I ran up 5 escalators, I need to get something at the end of it other than just a picture of a sweaty me with Dana. And I sent him that Twitter, and then I was like, "Oh, you're stupid," because I wanted to send it directly, but then it went out to everybody who follows me, and now I look like a fucking idiot begging. I felt horrible about it. Until later that day, I got a Twitter direct from Dana White, UFC, and it said, "Just hang tight, bro. A lot of people to call." So not only does he drop a bro on me in person, that guy actually typed out "bro" and sent it to me. So if you take one thing away from this week's show, folks, one thing, it's that I am Dana White's bro. Whether it's verbally, whether it's via the written word. You might have thought I was lying earlier about us having a date and getting together, but it turns out, folks, me and Dana White, we are bros. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at MySpace.com/MikeSchmidtComedy. You guys can follow me at Facebook.com/The40-Year-Old Boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com. You can't follow me at Facebook. You can sign up and be my friend. Or be my bro. Sign up to be my bro at Facebro.com. And then you can follow me at Twitter.com. Again, I think we've all learned how handy it is now. Go to Twitter.com/The40-Year-Old Boy. And follow me there. And also you can follow our friend Lily, or be her friend. Be Lily's friend at Facebook.com/LilyVonStupp. And you can also email Lily at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Hey, what's happening? It's Mike, host of the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast, the show you're listening to right now, unless, of course, I've decided to advertise on other shows, and I don't think that happened. I wanted to tell you guys about the Year One download set, available at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. 52 episodes of the 40-Year-Old Boy. It's got all the new artwork and theme music tied in, and it's got my liner notes for every single episode. It's got, I'll tell you about the original music, the titles and running times, ramblings about the episodes themselves. So go ahead and pick up the 40-Year-Old Boy Year One box set at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. The 40-Year-Old Boy Year One. 52 episodes, $25, one brutally funny podcast.
That's us fake laughing to come back in from break. I literally, like, it's quiet and we just go like we're having such a great time off mic. Oh, unbelievable. How funny is that? We're dorks. All right. What else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, I'll tell you this. Enjoy this. You can follow, like I said, you can get me at Facebook.com/The40-Year-Old Boy, and you can get Lily at Facebook.com/LilyVonStupp. Why not go be friends with the guy who does all the artwork for the show and wrote the theme songs for the show, and is good friends with Chewy from the Velvet Rope podcast on the show. That's my friend Mex. He is now a friend. He's on Facebook. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. And and it's so funny. Now he did it, and he's like, "What is Facebook for?" I said, "Well, you know what? I don't know. Let's try to get some people to be your friend." So we'll see then. Maybe Facebook will be good for you at that point. So if you guys want to be friends with Dave Hernandez, Christ, I don't even know how to find him. So what you should do is go to my page. Go to my page and find him in my friends. Find Dave Hernandez in my friends, and then go be friends with Max. And he's going to put up artwork, and he's going to put up some stuff. He might put up different artwork, not just stuff from the show, but he might put up some other artwork, and he's going to attempt to link to my show from his page. Let's all wish him luck, because this is a guy who bought a computer, and it was in his house for like 6 months. And then I went to use the computer, and I tried to do something QuickTime-wise, and I couldn't do it. And so I went to software update, and I hit software update, and literally, I'm going to say 25 things came up. And I said to him, "Have you ever updated the software in here?" And he goes, "No, what are you talking about?" I said, "Okay, well, your computer is now going to be useless for the next 3 days, as it has to install 9 different versions of iTunes and 4 different QuickTimes and everything else, all these Intel things." And so he's not a computer guy. I don't know what he's doing on Facebook, but let's all welcome him. So go to my page and find Dave Hernandez and my friends, and then go be friends with him and post stuff on his wall, and maybe he'll draw you. Maybe tell him, you know what? Go ahead and tell him, "Hey, dude, can you draw me with a giant head riding a big tricycle?" Because I'm sure he could probably do that at a carnival somewhere if you wanted him to. because he's a professional. So go ahead and do that. Go be friends with him and check out the artwork that he's going to post. It might be new stuff. It might be old stuff. Who knows? But he's the genius. Like I always tell him, everything he does is truly better than the show that it's associated with. So go see him prove it on his page at Facebook. And what else? Year one? You just heard that. Why am I boring you with that? And Twitter and all that stuff. Phillies, I'll tell you that, folks. I did this whole show in my Phillies jersey because today, I'm sure, again, last week we all got, or not last week, last year, we all got tired of me talking about the Phillies. But, folks, when I talked about them, they marched to the World Series championship. So you can't deny the results. So today the Phillies went out and threw Cliff Lee at the Colorado Rockies and started defense of their World Series championship with a 5-1 dusting over at the CBP. That's right, I call Citizens Bank Park the CBP. I don't know why, I've never been there. I've never even been to fucking Philadelphia, but I'm a Phillies fan, folks. And today I wore the Schmidt jersey and rocked the Philly jersey, very excited. So let's all root for the Phillies to go win the World Series, folks. And I'm excited about that. I'll tell you what I'm not excited about. I'm not excited about my mom sending me email bombs the last 4 days about the healthcare thing that's happening because my mom apparently is falling for it. Don't fall for it, Mom. Please. There's no death panels. And I don't know where my mom stands on anything anymore. I don't know. She sends me emails about the healthcare, and then she sends my wife an email with a bunch of cocks wearing Groucho glasses. It's like the weirdest... Like, my mom is sending me all these studious. I don't know why I got these. Again, I don't want the cock email. I guess I don't want that, because that would be disturbing for my mom. It's even worse that she sent it to my wife, I guess. But because then my wife is like, "Did you get that thing from your mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, the thing about Thomas Jefferson. Great." That's another gun control. Like, I don't know where my mom falls on that. But the email she sent me, it's like Thomas Jefferson had it right back then, and it's like all these things that he used to talk about at breakfast. Yes, that's what he talked about at breakfast after he was banging slaves all morning. Please forgive me if I don't need to listen to what Thomas Jefferson had to say. Yes, he was a great man. Yes, he was fantastic. Certainly, he's on the nickel, which makes him better than all of us. But guess what? He was knee-deep in fucking black vagina half the time, and that he paid for. It wasn't like he charmed them. It's not like he took a powdered wig and he went out to the Dexter Lake Club while Otis Day and the Knights were playing, and he talked to some of the fine ladies there in the club. No, he bought those women, and they had no choice but to go at it with him. And don't try to even bring up a David Letterman, Thomas Jefferson thing on me here, because David Letterman did not buy those ladies. They worked for him. So back off. He's nothing like Thomas Jefferson, and I don't know where David Letterman even falls on gun control. What the hell am I talking about? I have no idea. But I can tell you this, it's better than reading my mom. I'm a dick, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a decent guy because I am a jerk. And I'm not a jerk. Man, I'm an awful guy. I'm not an awful guy. I am not a good guy. But I don't think I'm a bad person overall. So, and go ahead and by all means judge that. I'm kind of a jagoff. I got no future. What am I talking about? But I am a jagoff. And I'm not a jerk. I'm a nice guy. It's just I guess I have jerky tendencies. I've done so much ridiculous stuff, and then I wonder afterwards, I'm like, man, how come I don't hang out with anybody? Here's why, because you're a dick. You're finished. 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 You're finished.